Although the majority of people think of meditation as something that only very advanced priests or shamans can do well, or that it requires specific attributes, skills, and attitudes, really anybody can and should meditate. If we were to describe meditation, we could use the analogy of digestion. When we eat, certain chemical responses take place in our body in order to break down the food into small particles that can be absorbed by our cells. If there is an interaction of this process and the foods don't reach the cells themselves, we may eat, but we will not obtain the nourishment we need. In the same way, we may read books or obtain knowledge in many other ways, which we store as information. However, if this knowledge doesn't reach our heart center, it will not transform us, which means that it will not be assimilated in a deeper and more meaningful sense. Our heart is the engine of our life. This is to say, the intelligent part of our being that is made up of a compilation of emotions, beliefs, or feelings that we have ever experienced, together with the physical knowledge that its cells hold, as they vibrate with the blueprint of the direction in which our lives should go. The organ that is the heart is the machinery which sets in motion the rest of our organism, providing us with the map, the direction, and the tools of where we belong as individuals in the overall perspective of the cosmos. Therefore, meditation is the digestion of knowledge in order to become part of us, because knowledge is not the same as wisdom. Knowledge alone and separated from a context, feelings, or a broader vision of the world is simply a database. In order to make this information part of our belief system and of our experience, what we feel, what we know to be truth, or emotions, we need to process it, and this is done when we meditate. For instance, we may know a person who may have spent many years studying several different degrees in various topics. This person might have a powerful mind and be able to dedicate himself or herself to acquiring this knowledge, be it out of a personal interest, for a sense of adventure, or out of a need to expand his or her mind. But a person might also like to accumulate knowledge in order to gain a status in the community or in the world, or even as a way to access opportunities. One could say that each field of knowledge is a skill, another feather in our cap. And so this person may have a powerful mind, but this doesn't make him or her able to adapt to a working environment, to enjoy fruitful relationships, to be able to flow with the intuition of a given moment in time, or even to adapt to change. In a word, this individual might have a problem fitting in socially. This individual could be described as lacking emotional intelligence, EQ, and or empathy. He or she might find it difficult to put him or herself in other people's shoes, and might not be able to understand why people react negatively to his or her choice of words or actions, even when these are genuinely well meant. Meditation would help such individual enormously to open his or her heart chakra, allowing the integration of information as compassion, empathy, and flexibility, which is the state of being required to be able to hear what others have to say without feeling defensive, without feeling threatened. Furthermore, this integration of knowledge at the heart level becomes what we know as wisdom. And the reason why this is a desirable state of being is because we can't connect with another human being if we feel resistance, separation, judgment, or fear towards ourselves. Because as we see ourselves, we see the others. All these negative emotions create strife, struggle, and discord. When we feel that we need to defend our right to be, we create a gap, a stance of separation from others, which makes it impossible for real communication to take place. I am talking here about communication from heart to heart, not the one where we manipulate words in order to influence the way others feel about us, but that communication where frequencies resonate and recognize each other as equal. I am you, and you are me. When we meditate, we develop an inner knowing about ourselves that does not depend on anybody else's opinion. We become flexible and open to other points of view because we realize that we all may have ideas we feel passionately about. But this doesn't mean that one is right and another one is wrong. In fact, we are all right all of the time, according to our own personal life experiences. When we understand that we are all one, simply coming from different backgrounds and at different stages of evolution, we can have meaningful communications. The idea is that we all need to share who we are without losing ourselves in the process, gaining from each other's wisdom, without trying to force our ideas on others or allowing others to do so to us. In order to meditate, we don't need to develop elaborate positions or follow a strict number of steps, which, were they not done in the correct order, the whole process would be useless. This is not what meditation is about. In order to meditate, we need to be alone and undisturbed during the duration of the meditation. We also need silence, comfortable clothes, relaxation music, and resting on a comfortable position, sitting down or lying down. If you find that you fall asleep, if you lay down, your body may be telling you that you need to rest first and meditate second. Your body knows its rhythms and its timing. And maybe the first step to your meditation could be to get attuned to them. Close your eyes and relax your body by giving a few deep breaths, noticing which muscles are tense and releasing them. Breathe in the light and energy of the universe and breathe out your tensions and worries of the moment. We then start observing our thoughts as they pass by. We don't get attached to them or judge them. We think of them as clouds in the sky. They pass by, but they don't stay. Because thoughts are etheric in nature, hence, it's hard to tell whether they belong to us or whether they merely are passing through us. The benefit of this exercise is the simple, detached contemplation that allows us to unhook ourselves from previously held perspectives, from likely entrenched beliefs. Because as we take on the observer's post, we create space and separation from the concept we are observing, feeling, or remembering. And within this space, the universe can place a new vibration, a new coded message, a new frequency, or a new vision. This is a new realization, something that suddenly becomes real in our life, and which previously was not part of our conscious thought. As we make room for the silence, the space between thoughts will grow bigger each time. We begin hearing our intuition, our little guiding inner voice. Sudden insights and deep truths start finding a place in our psyche, becoming part of us. As we said before, integrated at heart level. When you finish, give yourself some time to return to your reality. Sometimes we can go deep into our subconscious, therefore existing in a completely different dimension for a while. That's to say, our consciousness is not quite inside the body. On your return, you will notice that you feel much more harmonious, that it is easier to stay centered regardless of the external circumstances, regardless of the pulling and pushing we are subjected to every day in our lives. As a subject of meditation, you can focus on one particular problem, or you just may create space for whatever needs to make itself known to you at this moment. You will learn to trust each meditation by the inspiration that you get in the spur of the moment, because you will find that every moment is different, and hence, so is every meditation. Try not to want to achieve a result, and try not to make your meditations a standard procedure. Meditations seem to have a mind of their own. Whichever way, practice 15 minutes every day. It will change your life.